welcome to this week's Household Huddle. Before we start this week's huddle, I just want to say a thank you to all of our friends that shared their pictures of their rainbows and their animal challenges from last week. Awesome job, everyone. Okay, now before we jump into this week's story, let's take a minute to remember the 4 steps in a household huddle. Do you remember what they are? Breathe. So first we take a deep breath. Because taking a deep breath helps us to slow down and to be present right where we are. Share. Then we share with one another, sharing a high and a low, or a joy and a concern. And this is when we not only get a chance to share, but we also get a chance to listen to one another. It's also during this share time that we can share the story from the week. Reflect. During reflect, we take some time to think about the story. Maybe thinking about what the story says to us or how it connects with our lives. Sometimes we also reflect by doing an activity together. Thank. And we finally end with a thank you. Sometimes we thank someone in our household huddle for something that they've done, and sometimes we thank God for something we've experienced in our lives. It's that easy. Okay, my friends, so this week we hear a story about Moses. Now, Moses had a long beard, and I always imagine that he looked kind of like our friend Mr. Clavette. Well, today's story comes from the 2nd book of the Old Testament, just after the book of Genesis. Do you know what that book is called? If you said Exodus, you are correct. Now, Moses spoke Hebrew, and I know that many of you have learned some words in Hebrew before, like the word Shabbat. Does anybody remember what the word Shabbat means? Yes, it means Sabbath or day of rest. Remember in the creation story we heard a few weeks ago, it said that God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th? Well, that is the Sabbath day. The other word that many of you know is shalom. Do you remember what that means? Yes, it means peace. So if we put Shabbat and shalom together, that means peaceful Sabbath. Well, for today's story, we need to learn another Hebrew word, and that word is hineni. Can you say that? Hineni. Awesome. Let's try it one more time. Hineni. Okay. Well, hineni means here I am. So if someone is calling you, maybe your mom is calling you for supper, you can answer hineni. Okay, well, our story today starts with Moses. And Moses is out taking care of his father-in-law's sheep. Well, the sheep bring Moses way out into the wilderness, where suddenly Moses sees a bush that's on fire. And it's the strangest thing, because even though the bush is on fire, the bush is not burning up. Moses walks a little bit closer to take a better look, and then he hears the voice of God say, "Moses, Moses." And what do you think Moses said? I'll give you a hint. It's our word for today. Yes, he said, Hineni. Moses said, "Here I am, Hineni." Then God said, "Do not come any closer, Moses. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Okay, friends, so here are a few things you might want to talk about with your huddle. What would you think if you saw a burning bush? If God called you by name, how would you answer God? Now, Moses spoke Hebrew. I wonder, if you could learn to speak another language, what language would you choose? And finally, God told Moses that he was standing on holy ground. What other places do you think are holy? Great job, everyone. Okay, if you're looking to do an activity with your household huddle, how about making a burning bush light? All you need is a clear plastic cup, some red, orange, and yellow tissue paper, some glue, a paintbrush, and a battery-operated tea light. Just water down your glue and spread it on the outside of the cup with your paintbrush. Then stick pieces of tissue paper to the glue on the cup. When you're all finished and the glue is dry, put the battery-operated tea light inside the cup. Maybe you can use your light to mark a holy space. Or maybe you could put it by your bed so you could watch the light as you go to sleep. As you watch it, you could take some time to talk to God, but make sure you also take time to listen. And just like Moses, you can say, "Hineni, God." Well, my friends, we always end our household huddles with a thank you. So this week, even though God's burning bush was very, very safe, I want to take a minute to thank all of our firefighters out there for keeping us safe. Thank you to everyone who joined us in Household Huddle today, and I hope your household huddles at home are really great this week. Remember, Household Huddle can happen anytime and anywhere, so just be creative. But no matter where you are or what you're doing, remember that you are amazing, and don't ever forget that God loves you just the way you are, and so do I. Friends, if you'd like to share a picture of your burning bush light to be a part of next week's Household Huddle, you can email them to Pastor Kelly at oldtownucc.org.